Hello everyone, got two dirty jokes for you today. So a woman went into a pet shop to buy her husband a pet. After looking around, she realized that all the pets there were very expensive. She went to the counter and questioned the clerk. "I wanted to buy my husband a pet, but all of yours are so expensive," she said. "Well," said the clerk, "I have a huge bullfrog in the back for $50. Would you like to see it? $50 for a frog?" asked the woman. The clerk said, "It's a special frog. It gives head." Well, the woman did not particularly enjoy giving head, so she thought this was a heck of a deal. She'd get her husband a gift he'd surely enjoy, and she'd never have to do that again. The woman decided to buy the frog. She took it home to her husband and explained the strange gift. Of course, the husband was a bit skeptical, but said for sure he'd try it out that night. The woman went to bed that night relieved, knowing she would never have to give head again. About 2 in the morning, she woke up to hear pots and pans banging around in the kitchen. She got up to go see what was going on. When she got to the kitchen, she saw her husband and the frog sitting at the kitchen table like best buddies, looking through cookbooks. "What are you two doing here, looking through cookbooks at this hour?" asked the woman. The guy looks up at her and says, "Well, if I can teach this frog to cook, your ass is out of here." So every night after dinner, Harry took off for the local bar. He would spend the whole evening there and always arrive home well inebriated, around midnight each night. He usually had trouble getting his key to fit the keyhole and couldn't get the door open. And every time this happened, his wife would go to the door and let him in. Then, she would proceed to yell and scream at him for his constant nights out and coming home in a drunken state. But Harry still continued his nightly routine. One day, the distraught wife was talking to a friend about her husband's behavior. The friend listened and suggested, "Why don't you treat him a little differently when he comes home? Instead of berating him, why don't you give him some loving words and welcome him home with a kiss? Then he might change his ways." The wife thought this might be a good idea. That night, Harry took off again after dinner, and at about midnight, he arrived home in his usual condition. His wife heard him at the door. She quickly opened it and let Harry in, instead of beating him, as she had always done. This time she took his arm and led him into the living room. She sat Harry down in an easy chair, put his feet up on the footstool, and took his shoes off. Then she went behind him and started to cuddle him a little. After a short while, she whispered to Harry, "It's pretty late, dear. I think we should go upstairs to bed now. Don't you think?" Harry replied in his drunk state, "Heck, I guess we might as well. I'll get in trouble when I get home anyway."